Well, the day ended up being somewhat busy for some of you along and generally north of I-16 with some storms moving through. But at Savannah Hilton International Airport, southerly winds are continuing to keep it muggy, 81 degrees now. And by the way, some spots are even warmer than that with heat index numbers still in the 90s as well. But it is just ground clutter and false returns being shown here on Viper radar and is a much different scene now. And Monday's going to be much of the same, by the way. Temperatures are going to get downright hot and some may call it miserable. The upper 90s expected for some of you. Rain chances do go up into the afternoon, and I'm carrying about 30% chances for a lot of the area. And some of these storms may turn strong to severe, but the main concern is the heat. That heat index is going to get into that dangerous territory again with a lot of spots 110 degrees, feeling like 110 degrees and higher due to how the humidity makes it feel for our bodies, makes that sweat evaporate less effectively. That's why we have a heat advisory in effect from noon until 8 p.m. for pretty much most of the area, all of the area north of the Altamaha. But bottom line, same thing applies. Lightweight reflective clothing, plenty of hydration for water and electrolyte-rich beverages, and you need to take frequent breaks. If you have the opportunity to head indoors into some air conditioning, do so at first notice and be mindful of heat illness for yourself and neighbors. Again, this is going to be the case tomorrow. Heat does gradually break down though later on into the week. Still very expansive but broad high pressure in the area. Notice the clockwise motion in the atmosphere. That's going to stick around, but gradually things begin to change, and as it does so, the potential's there for stray strong and severe storms. And while the Storm Prediction Center has the low threat for severe weather along and north of I-16, any storms that can and do pop up have plenty of heat and humidity along with that instability to work with. Would lead to some collapsing storms bringing downdraft wind gusts into the area. So that's going to be the main concern through the day tomorrow once you get past the heat, of course. Lots of sunshine to start. Eventually the clouds fill in and you do get those showers and storms that fire up. Remember, computer models are not necessarily gospel either. Some runs have had these storms firing up west of the area, but bottom line, you get the point. Storms begin to fire up. Eventually they will feed off of one another, and here comes the possibility for some of those stronger cells. But coverage on Monday is only going to be about 30%. Now Tuesday you have a bit more moisture and a bit more lift to work with in the atmosphere. That's where you could get more coverage. I'm carrying 40% rain chances for Tuesday, but bottom line, you get the point. Any one of these storms could contain strong wind gusts, but in addition to that, frequent lightning is a very big concern with all of this activity. So eye to the sky very much is necessary. 79 degrees will be the low tonight, and then storms are out of the picture now, but a very warm and humid one again out the door for you into your Monday. And by the way, hot conditions, 98 degrees feels like 110, if not higher than that. But afternoon storms could turn strong to severe with any of those isolated cells. Now in the tropics, there is a tropical wave in the central Atlantic about 900 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. Bottom line, no threat to the area, but it is worth watching and noting that once these systems start coming off of Africa, you do get the potential for them to move west. But a very hostile environment along with Saharan dust and the potential for a lot of wind shear. That's going to disrupt this system, and no threat for the area will continue. Our local waters feature west winds developing into a southwesterly breeze about 5 to 10 knots, 2 to 3 foot seas build in, and your tide is going to be achieved early in the day, but low tide in the middle of the day. But bottom line, water is going to be the place to be in the area. Here was what you got for your extended forecast. Again, the possibilities there for stray severe storms tomorrow, but mainly the heat's the concern again with the heat advisory in effect. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday bring an unsettled pattern back to the area, but more seasonable heat gradually works into the area again. But this pattern will stick around, and we are here with summer on in the coastal empire and low country.
Jeff, definitely not a big fan of this 7-day. You know, I don't like to see 7 days of rain, but you know what? This is what we sign up for. This is summer in southeast Georgia, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is what we